Cariñena is a variety with many names. Outside Spain, you'll most likely see it referred to as Carignan, whilst inside Spain, you can find it being called Mazuelo in Rioja or Samsó in Catalunya. Naming conventions aside, Cariñena was once the dominant grape variety in much of Spain, as well as southern France. In fact, its popularity in areas like Languedoc-Roussillon made it France's most planted grape variety at one point in the 20th century. The main reason for this was high yield. This was a big plus in post-war Europe, when consumers were less discriminating and winemakers admired the vine's ability to churn out more than 300 hectolitres of wine per hectare, which is about 3 times the allowed yield in most self-respecting DOs these days. Of course, such high yields meant some pretty poor quality, fairly insipid wine, and the grape's reputation suffered a lot as a result, and plantings dropped as it fell out of favour. But these days, it has staged a bit of a comeback. And in Spain, you'll find the variety in Aragon. In fact, it's named after the town of Carinena, which also gives its name to one of Aragon's 3 denominaciones de origen. But you'll also see it in Rioja and Catalunya, where, in particular, in Priorat, you'll find lovely old vine, extremely low yield Cariñena, often called Samsó in Catalan, which can produce wines with really fine tannins and lots of depth of flavour and complexity. You'll often find it blended with Garnacha, or increasingly on its own. Cariñena is a late ripening variety. Its buds appear later than other varieties, and its fruit ripens later, which makes it a warmer climate grape. That's really why it's been so popular for so long in countries around the Mediterranean, including in places like Israel or Lebanon. While it enjoys heat, it is quite susceptible to powdery mildew in damper climates, so winemakers have to be careful. Once it's inside the winery, Cariñena's low flavour profile means it's often used as a blending grape. In Rioja, Mazuelo, as it's known there, is valued because of its high tannins and its acidity, which make it a really good blending partner for Tempranillo-based wines, designed to be aged for a few years before being drunk. The older, lower yield examples of Cariñena can give much richer flavoured wines. Think of Christmas cake fruits and lots of spice. But the grapes need careful handling, as they can be prone to reduction, or that slightly sulphury smell you can sometimes get when wines have too little oxygen. So what does Cariñena taste like? Well, when it's bottled on its own and left to age for a bit to soften all those tannins, Cariñena can give deliciously full-bodied red wines with bags of dark fruit flavour that go really well with dishes like roast lamb or stews. The best examples are probably from DOs like Priorat, Montsant or Terra Alta in southern Catalunya, or Empordà if you're up further north near the French border. Look out for words on the label like cepas viejas or viñas bellas in Catalan, which denote old vines and probably more concentrated flavours. In a blend, we particularly like the deliciously Mediterranean profile of Quesí, a Garnacha Samsó red blend from the Etant winery, which is made in DOQ Priorat. It's aged in French oak, and the wine is a dense purplish red with a nose packed with aromas of Mediterranean plants like fennel and rosemary. Swirl the glass and it releases wafts of black and red fruits with notes of red pepper and a scent of nutmeg from the oak barrel aging. It's full-bodied and velvety on the palate, with gentle round tannins and a long, lingering finish. Thanks for watching, and see you soon on Simply Spanish Wine.